Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Joey from Don't Call My Wax Junk. It's been a minute since I've done a video, so I want to take a few minutes tonight and re-engage with the community a little bit and share a few cards and little comparison video maybe. Comparing a few players, a few cards that I have that all share something in common. You know, we talk a lot of Braves on this channel, and tonight's no different. First card I want to share with you is this 1972 Topps Tony La Russa. A nice 5. Check out this hat. Totally airbrushed, totally painted on. Tony La Russa was a Brave for one season, if even for a whole season. I've shared this card with you before. This is the 1969 Topps Bobby Cox Gold Cup. This is his only player card. And the third card I want to share with you is this 1969 Milton Bradley Joe Torre. A beautiful 8. This came from a baseball board game. Let's see the back of it there. So guys, I wanted to do a little comparison between these three Hall of Fame managers that all have ties to the Atlanta Braves. And guys, as a baseball coach in our school system for 15 years, obviously that part of the game, the strategic part of the game, the managing style of the game, is a big part of the game to me. And these three guys who actually all went into the Hall of Fame together in 2014 as managers. I thought it very interesting that all of them had ties to the Braves, and I just wanted to do kind of a player comparison, and also just share with you how they all kind of mirrored each other as far as their success in managing. So obviously, of these three players, Joe Torre was by far the best player in the bunch. Torre was just short of a 300 career hitter, 297 for his career, 252 homers, had 2,300 hits, 1,200 RBIs, was a National League Most Valuable Player, not with the Braves, with the Cardinals in 71, a 9-time All-Star, won the Gold Glove, and just an outstanding catcher during his playing days. Bobby Cox probably had the shortest playing career, only 2 years. Not much to speak of. 225 career hitter, 141 hits, 9 homers, 58 RBIs in those 2 years. And Tony La Russa, as far as offensive players, was kind of at the bottom of the totem pole there. He hit below the Mendoza line for his career, a .99 in only 176 career at-bats, no home runs, only had 35 career hits, and only drove in 7 runs in his playing career. They say, and I don't know if it's so much true with Torre as it is with Bobby and Tony, but they say, you know, some of the best managers weren't necessarily the best players. And I could say it's true for me. For sure, I'm a much better coach than I was a player. Still can't hit a curveball. But all three of them went into managing fairly quickly after their playing career was over. And all three of them had pretty lean years as they started their managerial careers out. Cox didn't have a 500 season until his third season managing the Braves in 1980. Torre didn't have a 500 season until his fifth year when he also managed the Braves in 1982. Bobby Cox was fired following the 81 season, and Torre took the team that Bobby helped create to the postseason for the first time since 1969. Tony La Russa didn't have a 500 season until his fourth year managing the Chicago White Sox. If you take a look at all three guys as far as their managerial stats, very similar. Bobby Cox, 547 winning percentage. Joe Torre, 538. Tony La Russa, 536. You know, Bobby, 14 straight division championships, 5 pennants, 1 world championship. He was a 4-time manager of the year. Torre, 6 pennants, 4 world championships, 2-time manager of the year. And La Russa, 6 pennants, 3 world championships, 4-time manager of the year. And all three of them, again, were 2014 Hall of Fame inductees. As far as their championships, you know, Bobby Cox had the highest regular season winning percentage, but because of the Braves' lack of world titles, it's no surprise that he has the lowest postseason winning percentage of the three. And twice he lost to Joe Torre and the Yankees, once in 96 and again in 99. Bobby has the dubious distinction of holding the all-time record for manager ejections with 158 tosses. But that's why players love playing for Bobby, because they knew he would always support them. They knew that he would always defend them and try to protect them. And he did. He took a lot of those ejections, to try to protect his players. Sometimes, and I saw this on a special where I think it was Maddox and Smoltz and Glavine were kind of doing a Major League Baseball special. And sometimes they shed a little light that players would get Bobby tossed intentionally. And I thought that was hilarious to listen to them talk about how they could get him riled up enough to where he'd go out there and get himself tossed. And I guess when you have as much success as the Braves did throughout the 90s, it didn't hurt him that much to have Bobby take an early shower on some games. As far as their 3 single seasons, their 3 most successful single seasons, Bobby Cox went 106 and 56 in 1998, but were defeated by the Padres in the NLCS 4-2. That was the year that the Padres went on to be swept by the Yankees in the 98 World Series. And that was also Joe Torre's most successful single season, was in 1998 with the Yankees, where the Yankees won 114 games, only lost 48. They went 11-2 in the postseason and swept the Padres in the World Series. Tony La Russa's most successful season managing was not, surprisingly, with the Oakland Athletics, but was with the St. Louis Cardinals in 2008. They won the pennant that year, but were defeated by the Boston Red Sox in the World Series. All 3 of these guys are, without a doubt, 3 of the greatest managers in my generation, but also could be argued that they're 3 of the best managers of all time, based on their success, based on their just the way they led their teams. I think all 3 guys were players managers, and that should tell something to a lot of the managers today that aren't necessarily considered player managers. That players respond better to managers that don't micromanage their lives, but trust them to be professionals and trust them to do their job And I think these three guys were testaments of that philosophy. But I just thought it was cool. Number one, that they all have ties to the Braves, that they all went in the Hall of Fame together in 2014, and that I was able to put these three cards in my collection, just as a testament to, as a baseball coach, the work that they did, putting together and managing their teams, and how and why they were so successful at doing that. So, anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this little retrospective of the managing careers of Tony La Russa, Bobby Cox, and Joe Torre. I hope you'll agree that they were three of the all-time greats. Feel free, guys, to leave comments below. Like this video. Feel free to share it. And, of course, hit that subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I would very much appreciate it. And, guys, we'll look forward to seeing you down the road. Everybody take care.